You flip a switch, light floods the room, you charge your phone, you turn on the air conditioner. Every single one of these actions traces back to one man's brain firing in ways nobody else's did. Nikola Tesla didn't just invent machines, he saw electricity as a living thing. He understood it like music, like breath, like the planet's heartbeat. While Thomas Edison was brute forcing his way through thousands of filament tests, Tesla was running entire power plants in his head. No sketches, no prototypes. Just pure mental machinery spinning at frequencies that would take 50 years to measure. The rotating magnetic field, wireless power bouncing through the earth itself, resonance frequencies that made the ground hum. This isn't about a guy who built stuff. This is about someone who cracked a code everyone else couldn't even see. We're talking February 1882. Budapest, a 26-year-old Tesla, is walking through a park with his friend Anthony Szigeti. They're watching the sunset. Tesla is reciting Goethe's Faust from memory when something breaks open in his brain. The rotating magnetic field, the entire alternating current motor, not a sketch, not a theory, the complete machine. He grabs a stick and draws the design in the dirt. Alternating currents, 90 degrees out of phase, creating a rotating magnetic field that would spin a rotor without brushes or commutators. Szigeti doesn't understand at first. Tesla has to explain that what he's seeing in his mind is real, solid, operating. This moment changes everything because it proves Tesla's brain doesn't work like yours or mine. Here's what makes this wild. Most inventors sketch. They prototype. They fail and adjust. Tesla builds the entire device in his head first. In his 1919 autobiography, he writes that he can visualize with the greatest facility. He needs no models or drawings or experiments. He can picture them all as real in his mind. He develops and perfects a conception without touching anything. When he finally builds it in physical form, every part fits. The device works. In 30 years of doing this, not a single exception. His first electric motor, his vacuum tube wireless light, his turbine engine, all developed this way. This isn't photographic memory. This is eidetic visualization on a level that borders on superhuman. He could mentally test a machine for weeks, disassemble it in his mind, check for wear patterns, and know exactly which parts would fail. If you value documented electrical history and technological innovation like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also, comment from which city you're hearing this from. This script is researched and factual, using sources from Tesla's own Colorado Springs notes from 1899 to 1900, published by the Nikola Tesla Museum in Belgrade in 1978. And from peer-reviewed engineering analysis in the proceedings of the 1994 Colorado Springs Tesla Symposium. Both sources containing Tesla's handwritten experimental data and measurements that prove his claims about terrestrial resonance and wireless power transmission were grounded in actual recorded observations. Now back to the information. Tesla arrives in New York City in 1884. 28 years old. 4 cents in his pocket. He's got a letter of introduction to Thomas Edison from Charles Batchelor that supposedly reads, "I know 2 great men, and you are one of them. The other is this young man." Tesla goes to work at Edison Machine Works. Edison runs on direct current power stations every 2 miles because DC loses voltage over distance. Tesla knows alternating current solves this. Edison calls AC dangerous, calls it a killer. The 2 men clash immediately. There's a story about Edison promising Tesla $50,000 to improve his DC generators. Tesla delivers. Edison laughs it off as a joke. Tesla quits. By October 1887, Tesla files 7 patents. These aren't incremental improvements. This is a complete alternating current system. Generators, motors, transformers, distribution networks, patent numbers 3, 819, 6, 8 through 38, 2, 282, issued May 1st, 1888. The patent office makes him break it into 7 sections because the scope is so massive. Each patent describes a different piece of what will become the electrical grid powering the entire planet. The core invention is the polyphase induction motor, 2 pairs of coils 90 degrees apart. Alternating current in one pair is 90 degrees out of phase with the other pair. This creates a rotating magnetic field. The rotor spins without physical contact, no commutator, no brushes, no sparking, no maintenance. George Westinghouse sees this demonstration on May 16, 1888 at the American Institute of Electrical Engineers. He knows immediately this will destroy Edison's DC empire. Westinghouse buys Tesla's patents in July 1888 for $60,000 in cash, plus stock, and $2.50 per AC horsepower produced. That royalty deal alone could have made Tesla the richest man in America. One estimate puts the eventual value at $12 million. But when Westinghouse's company nearly collapses during the financial panic, Tesla tears up the contract, just walks away from a fortune. He doesn't care about money, he cares about the system getting built. By 1893, Westinghouse uses Tesla's AC system to light the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago. 90,000 incandescent lamps, all alternating current. Edison's DC couldn't have powered a tenth of it. The contract to build the hydroelectric plant at Niagara Falls goes to Westinghouse and Tesla. Construction begins 1895. Opens January 12, 1897. Tesla himself speaks at the dedication. Water falling over Niagara drives turbines generating polyphase alternating current at 25,000 volts. Transformers step it up for transmission, step it down for use. Power flows to Buffalo, 26 miles away. Then to New York City. The War of the Currents is over. Tesla's AC becomes the global standard, but Tesla isn't satisfied with wires. He wants to transmit power without them. He's obsessed with resonance, with vibration, with frequency. He says, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. This isn't mysticism. This is physics, pushed to edges nobody else sees. When you strike the earth mechanically, like an earthquake, it vibrates like a bell, period measured in hours. Strike it electrically, and the charge oscillates approximately 12 times a second. By impressing current waves of certain lengths related to the planet's diameter, you can throw the globe into resonant vibration. Stationary waves form, nodal and ventral regions, that you can locate with mathematical precision. Tesla believes if he can tune an oscillator to Earth's resonant frequency, he can send power anywhere on the planet. May 1st, 1899, Tesla moves to Colorado Springs, high altitude, dry air, frequent lightning, perfect conditions for high-voltage experiments. He builds a laboratory with a magnifying transmitter, a massive Tesla coil, 51 feet in diameter, working potential between 3.5 and 4 million volts, capable of producing electrical discharges exceeding 100 feet. He's there until January 7th, 1900. He keeps a detailed diary, 500 pages, 200 drawings, every experiment documented. He's studying lightning, tracking storms across the plains. On July 3rd, 1899, he makes what he calls his most important discovery: terrestrial stationary waves. He proves the Earth can be used as a conductor, that it resonates at a certain electrical frequency. He measures it. Later, analysis shows his experimental measurements of wavelength and frequency closely match theoretical calculations for what will be called the Schumann resonance. Not measured officially until 1954 through 1959, Tesla documented it 55 years earlier. He's transmitting electricity through the ground, lighting 200 incandescent lamps without wires from a distance of 26 miles. Photographs still exist. He's creating man-made lightning bolts 41 meters long, 135 feet of crackling blue fire jumping from his equipment. One night, his magnifying transmitter overloads the Colorado Springs power station. He burns out the generator. The electric company sends him a bill. He's detecting signals in his receivers that he believes come from another planet. Most people mock this. But modern analysis published in a NASA Goddard Space Flight Center report from 1996 titled Nikola Tesla and the Planetary Radio Signals shows Tesla's receivers operated in the 8 to 22 kilohertz range and could detect Jupiter radio emissions. He may have been the first human to detect radio waves from space. The repeating signals he recorded matched the timing of Jovian radio bursts. Mars was in the sky that night at a small distance, but what he detected was probably Jupiter. Still, first contact with planetary radio. 1899. Tesla returns to New York in 1900. He's got data. He's got proof. He's convinced wireless power transmission is possible on a global scale. He approaches J.P. Morgan, the wealthiest banker in America. Tesla pitches a system to transmit wireless messages across the Atlantic, compete with Marconi's radio. Morgan agrees. Contract signed March 1901, $150,000 for 51% of the company. Tesla buys 200 acres on Long Island Sound in the village of Shoreham, starts building Wardenclyffe Tower, designed by architect Stanford White, 187 feet tall, wood frame, 68-foot diameter, mushroom-shaped cupola on top, 55 tons of steel. Below ground, a shaft of 120 feet deep, 12 feet square, lined with timber, accessible by spiral staircase, radial tunnels extending outward. The design includes a massive grounding system, iron rods and copper plates driven deep into the earth. Then Marconi announces in December 1901 that he transmitted wireless signals across the Atlantic. The Morse code letter S from England to Newfoundland uses some of Tesla's patents to do it. Morgan starts questioning Tesla's project. Tesla admits he wants to do more than send messages. He wants to transmit power, free power, anywhere on Earth. Morgan sees the problem immediately. If power is free, how do you monetize it? How do you meter it? How do you control it? Morgan refuses additional funding. Tesla keeps building anyway. He takes out mortgages, he sells property, he's drowning in debt. Construction continues through 1902 and 1903. One night in 1903, witnesses report seeing the Wardenclyffe Tower shooting brilliant blue lightning into the sky. Crackling electrical discharges visible from Connecticut, 100 miles away. Reporters ask Tesla what's happening. He says matter-of-factly that they've been sending wireless messages and power from the station for long distances for some time, then nothing. The tower never operates at full power again. Tesla requests more money from Morgan. Morgan's reply is cold. I have received your letter, and in reply would say that I should not feel disposed at present to make any further advances. Tesla's finances unravel. Investors back away. The scientific community is skeptical. The banks foreclose on Wardenclyffe. The tower stands abandoned. 1917, during World War I, the tower is demolished for scrap. 55 tons of steel sold to pay debts. Tesla's dream of wireless power dies with it. But here's where Tesla's understanding of electricity reveals its true depth. He doesn't see power transmission as moving electrons through a wire. He sees it as a wave propagation problem. Resonance, like sound waves or water ripples. He discovers that by adjusting his oscillator to specific frequencies, he can create standing waves in the Earth. These waves don't diminish with distance. They build, reinforce. A pulse sent from Colorado Springs travels through the planet to the opposite side and reflects back. The timing is predictable. The nodes are calculable. Tesla claims in his 1908 essay, The Future of the Wireless Art, that this isn't theory. It's truth established in numerous and carefully conducted experiments. He writes that by impressing upon the Earth current waves of certain lengths definitely related to its diameter, the globe is thrown into resonant vibration like a wire. The math backs him up. Earth's diameter through the poles is 12,742 kilometers. The speed of light is 299,792 kilometers per second. Tesla's resonant frequency calculations put the fundamental Earth resonance at approximately 6 to 12 hertz. Modern measurements of the Schumann resonance show fundamental frequencies between 7.3 and 7.9 hertz. Tesla was within the range, using equipment from 1899. He also discovers that certain frequencies between 6 hertz and 35 kilohertz propagate around the world with efficiency between 87 and 93%. Above 35 kilohertz, efficiency drops. At 160 kilohertz, it falls below 10%. This knowledge won't be confirmed by mainstream science for another 60 years. Here's another layer. Tesla operates at Wardenclyffe at frequencies from 1000 hertz to 100 kilohertz. He finds the range up to 30 to 35 kilohertz to be most economical. This matches his Colorado observations. The wave complex he's generating includes extremely low frequency components around 6 to 1000 hertz, plus very low frequency components around 25 to 35 kilohertz. This isn't random. This is calculated. He's trying to match the natural resonances of the Earth ionosphere cavity. He's using the planet as a resonant circuit, ground plate at one end, ionosphere at the other, pump energy and at the right frequency and standing waves form, tap them anywhere on the surface. Tesla also understands that his system differs fundamentally from Hertzian electromagnetic waves. Marconi's radio uses transverse electromagnetic radiation. It spreads in all directions. Power decreases with the square of distance. Tesla's system uses longitudinal waves. Compression waves through the conducting medium of the Earth. These don't radiate into space. They travel through the ground. The ionosphere acts as a reflector. The energy stays trapped between the two conducting layers. Losses are minimal compared to radiation. He files Canadian Patent 142352 in August 1912, titled Art of Transmitting Electrical Energy Through the Natural Medium. He specifies that radiation into space must be minimized. Frequencies should be smaller than 20,000 per second. The lowest frequency could be 6 per second with one node near the ground plate. The effect increases with distance. This is opposite to conventional radio. Tesla's mental model of electricity extends beyond transmission. He sees the entire planet as a battery, a reservoir of charge. The ionosphere is oppositely charged. Together they form a condenser of very large capacity. Disturb the system and waves propagate. Tune your equipment to the resonant frequency and you draw power. He's essentially describing what modern physics calls the global atmospheric electrical circuit. Ground negative, atmosphere positive. Thunderstorms are the generators maintaining the potential difference. and about 2,000 thunderstorms active at any moment. Each one pumps current into the circuit. The Fairweather field maintains about 100 volts per meter near the surface. Total potential between ground and ionosphere is roughly 250,000 volts. Tesla intuited this system in 1899. Let's go deeper into his visualization ability, because this is where genius crosses into territory that seems impossible. As a child, Tesla suffers from what his family thinks are hallucinations. A word triggers an image of an object he once saw. The image appears in front of him. He can't distinguish it from reality. This terrifies him until he learns to control it. By age 17, he can visualize with the greatest facility. He needs no models, no drawings, no experiments. He can picture inventions as real in his mind. When he has an idea, he doesn't sketch it. He builds it mentally, runs it, tests it, disassembles it, checks for wear, improves it. Only when every possible improvement is exhausted does he give specifications to workmen. The physical object works exactly as designed. No revisions, no debugging. 30 years, not a single exception. Compare this to Edison's method. Edison tries thousands of materials for light bulb filaments: bamboo, platinum, carbon from every source. Each test requires building a physical lamp, heating it, watching it fail, recording results, moving to the next material. Brute force empiricism. Tesla runs the same process in his head. Mentally tests materials, virtually measures resistance and heat dissipation, arrives at the optimal solution before touching a workbench. This isn't just efficiency, this is a fundamentally different relationship with reality. Tesla's internal world has the same fidelity as the external world. Cause and effect operate the same way in both. He's running physics simulations and biological neural networks in 1885. His visual memory extends beyond machines. He speaks 7 languages fluently: Serbian, Czech, English, French, German, Hungarian, Italian. He memorizes entire books, recites Goethe from memory while walking through Budapest parks, performs complex mathematical calculations in his head, estimates dimensions to 1/100th of an inch by sight. An assistant once counted him walking 9 miles in a single night inside his laboratory while pacing in circles muttering calculations. He works for 48 hours straight without eating or sleeping. His mind is sharpest at night. He believes sleep is for the weak. Claims to survive on 2 hours per night using power naps. Breakfast is a raw egg mixed into warm milk, which he believes lubricates the brain. But there's a cost. Tesla suffers a severe nervous breakdown in Budapest in his early 20s. Right when he's obsessing over the rotating magnetic field problem, hypersensitivity to sounds, to light, to vibration, his pulse becomes erratic. Twitching, shivers, the stimulation from the environment overwhelms his nervous system. He develops obsessive-compulsive behaviors. Everything in threes. He only stays in hotel rooms, divisible by 3. Walks around a block 3 times before entering a building. Uses 18 napkins at dinner. Stacks plates in groups of 3. He's a germaphobe. Refuses to shake hands. Won't touch anything round. Has an aversion to pearl earrings. Can't stand the sight of them. Never marries. Says women would distract from his work. His relationship with pigeons borders on obsession. He feeds them daily in New York City parks. Spends money he doesn't have buying birdseed. Nurses injured pigeons back to health in his hotel room. He describes one white pigeon with gray tips on her wings as special. Says there was a light in her eyes. Claims to have loved that pigeon as a man loves a woman. When she dies, Tesla says his life's work is finished. This is 1922. He's got 21 more years to live, but produces almost nothing new after this point. Tesla's eccentricities don't diminish his contributions. They're part of the package. The same hypersensitivity that makes him count napkins also lets him perceive electrical phenomena others miss. The same visualization ability that seems like hallucination lets him design working machines without prototypes. The obsession with threes manifests in 3-phase power systems that dominate industrial applications globally. His germophobia keeps him healthy when others die from infections. His refusal to marry keeps him focused. The pigeons provide companionship without demands. Every quirk serves the work. Now consider the scope of what Tesla actually built versus what he envisioned. The polyphase AC motor, the Tesla coil, the radio, the remote-controlled boat demonstrated in 1898 at Madison Square Garden, X-ray equipment more powerful than Röntgen's original, neon lighting, fluorescent lighting, wireless transmission of power over short distances, high-frequency alternating current devices, the bladeless turbine, over 300 patents filed across multiple countries, each one a working device, each one ahead of its time. The AC motor alone powers 90% of industrial machinery today. Every appliance in your home, every HVAC system, every industrial pump and fan and conveyor, all running on Tesla's rotating magnetic field principle from 1882. The Tesla coil isn't just a toy shooting sparks at science fairs. It's the basis for radio transmission, for wireless communication, for high-voltage transformers, for every ignition system and every gasoline engine. Tesla used it to conduct experiments in everything from X-rays to the ionization of gases to atmospheric electricity. Without the Tesla coil, he couldn't have done the Colorado Springs work, couldn't have designed Wardenclyffe, couldn't have discovered terrestrial resonance. The coil is the key to everything that follows. His work on X-rays in 1895, just months after Röntgen's discovery, produces images of the human body sharper than anyone else achieves. He develops specially designed tubes operating at higher voltages, takes shadowgraphs of bones and internal structures, also discovers the dangers, tissue damage, burns, pain from excessive exposure, warns others about safety protocols. This is before anyone understands ionizing radiation. Tesla figures it out through experimentation and deduction. The remote-controlled boat in 1898 demonstrates principles that won't become practical until World War II. He uses radio waves to send commands to a small boat, equipped with a receiver and servo mechanisms. The boat starts, stops, turns, changes direction. All from a control panel Tesla operates at a distance. The crowd at Madison Square Garden thinks it's magic. Some think there's a trained monkey inside piloting it. Tesla has to explain radio control repeatedly. Patent filed November 8th, 1898, number 613809. This is the foundation of teleoperation, of drones, of remote-controlled weapon systems, of everything autonomous. Tesla predicts smartphones in 1901. Says a man will carry a device in his pocket capable of receiving messages and transmitting his position. Describes a world system that transmits news, music, stock reports, private messages, and secure military communications. Envisions images being sent wirelessly around the globe. Foresees wireless internet in everything but name. People think he's insane, but every word of it becomes real within 100 years. His timeline estimates are off. His technical path is different than what actually develops, but the vision is accurate. He also claims to have invented a particle beam weapon. The death ray says it can destroy aircraft from hundreds of miles away. Offers it to multiple governments in the 1930s. United States, Soviet Union, United Kingdom, Yugoslavia. Nobody takes him seriously. The weapon is never built, never demonstrated. After Tesla dies in 1943, the FBI seizes all his papers, classifies them, keeps his urn under surveillance. Decades later, analysis suggests Tesla's death ray concept was a directed energy weapon based on particle acceleration. Feasible in theory, impractical with 1930s technology. But the basic physics is sound. Here's what makes Tesla's understanding of electricity different from everyone else's. Edison sees electricity as a commodity, something to generate and sell. A business problem with technical components. Westinghouse sees it as an engineering challenge. Build generators, lay wire, deliver power, collect payment. Marconi sees wireless transmission as communication, send messages, prove it works, commercialize it. Tesla sees electricity as the fundamental fabric of reality, energy, frequency, vibration. He thinks in terms of resonance and harmonics, of standing waves and field effects, of the Earth as a conductor and the atmosphere as a capacitor. He doesn't separate electrical engineering from physics, from music, from consciousness. It's all vibration, all frequency, all connected. When Tesla builds a mechanical oscillator in his Manhattan laboratory, a small piston-driven device, he tests its resonance characteristics, attaches it to a steel beam in the building. The device begins to vibrate, slowly at first, then faster. The vibration transfers to the beam, to the building structure. The resonance builds. Windows start rattling, walls shake. The vibration spreads through the steel framework of surrounding buildings. People blocks away feel the tremors. Police show up thinking it's an earthquake. Tesla grabs a hammer and smashes the oscillator. The shaking stops immediately. He later claims if he'd let it run another 10 minutes, the building would have collapsed. The police threaten to arrest him. Tesla promises never to do it again, but he proves the principle. Mechanical resonance can destroy structures. A small device tuned to the right frequency can topple buildings. This leads him to theorize about earthquake weapons, about using resonance to trigger seismic events. He writes about Earth resonance in ways that sound like science fiction but are grounded in actual physics. If you know a structure's resonant frequency, you can destroy it with minimal energy input. The same principle applies to the planet. If you can tune an oscillator to Earth's resonant frequency and pump enough energy into it, theoretically, you could trigger seismic waves. Tesla never builds such a weapon, never tries to. But the physics is correct. Modern acoustic weapons use the same principles. Infrasound at specific frequencies, causing nausea, disorientation, organ damage, back to Wardenclyffe. After the tower is demolished in 1917, the site sits abandoned for decades. Property changes hands multiple times, used for a photo manufacturing facility, left to decay. The main laboratory building remains but deteriorates. In 2012, cartoonist Matt Inman, creator of the Oatmeal, launches a crowdfunding campaign. Let's build a goddamn Tesla museum. Raises $1.37 million through Indiegogo. Elon Musk donates $1 million. The Tesla Science Center at Wardenclyffe successfully purchases the site in 2013. In 2016, the American Physical Society recognizes Wardenclyffe as a historic site in physics. 2018, it's listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The museum now operates educational programs. The People's Republic of Serbia gifts a statue of Tesla that stands on the grounds. Tesla dies January 7th, 1943. Room 3327 at the Hotel New Yorker in Manhattan. 86 years old. Alone, the maid finds his body. Cause of death listed as coronary thrombosis. He dies penniless, in debt. Many of his patents expired. The royalty deal with Westinghouse torn up decades earlier. He owns nothing but his notebooks and papers. The FBI arrives within hours, seizes everything. An MIT professor named John G. Trump, uncle of the future president, is called in to analyze the documents. He concludes there's nothing of military value, nothing dangerous. This assessment is questionable, given that Tesla's papers include designs for directed energy weapons and wireless power transmission systems. Some documents remain classified for years. January 12th, 1943. 2,000 people attend Tesla's state funeral at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. His ashes are sent to Belgrade, Yugoslavia, now Serbia. They're placed in a golden sphere at the Nikola Tesla Museum. The sphere sits on a marble pedestal. The museum houses over 160,000 original documents, thousands of photographs, hundreds of original technical drawings, Tesla's personal effects. The urn containing his ashes remains the centerpiece. In 1943, the United States Supreme Court overturns Marconi's radio patents, rules that Tesla's patents from 1897 for wireless transmission have priority. Tesla invented radio. Marconi used Tesla's work. The ruling comes too late. Tesla is already dead. Never receives recognition in his lifetime, never makes money from radio royalties. Marconi gets the fame, gets the Nobel Prize in 1909. Tesla gets poverty and obscurity. The AC motor patent alone should have made Tesla the richest man in America. The Tesla coil, radio, wireless control, X-ray equipment, neon lighting, fluorescent lighting, 300 patents across multiple countries. If he'd kept the Westinghouse royalty deal, $2.50 per AC horsepower produced, and if you calculate the total horsepower generated globally by AC motors over a century, the number is incomprehensible. Trillions of dollars in value. Tesla walks away from it, tears up the contract to save Westinghouse's company, keeps working, keeps inventing, keeps giving away the future for free. This is the part that haunts people. Tesla had the knowledge to change the world. Wireless power, free energy for everyone, no coal plants, no oil, no grid infrastructure, just receivers tapping into Earth's resonance. He builds the tower. He runs the experiments. He proves the concept works on a small scale. Then money stops. Politics intervenes. Investors pull out. The tower comes down. The dream dies. And we get a century of wars fought over oil, of climate change from burning fossil fuels, of energy scarcity weaponized by governments, all because J.P. Morgan couldn't monetize free power. But maybe Tesla was just too far ahead. Maybe the technology wasn't ready. Maybe the materials science wasn't there. Maybe the scale required to make global wireless power practical couldn't be achieved with 1903 equipment. Modern engineers have tried to recreate Wardenclyffe's principles. Wireless power transmission works. You can light bulbs from a distance, charge devices without wires. But scaling it to transmit megawatts across continents runs into fundamental problems. Efficiency, safety, regulation, the inverse square law for radiated power, the absorption of energy by living tissue, the interference with existing wireless systems. It's not just about building a bigger Tesla coil, it's about physics limitations. Tesla may not have fully solved. Still, the vision was correct. Wireless power is everywhere now, just not through the ground, through electromagnetic induction, Qi charging pads, RFID tags, near-field communication, the phone on your desk charging without a cable, the electric toothbrush in your bathroom, the implantable medical devices powered by external fields, all Tesla's principles, all proven by his experiments in the 1890s. Just miniaturized and localized instead of planetary scale. Tesla's quote about energy, frequency, and vibration has become a meme. repeated endlessly in New Age circles, used to sell crystals and quantum healing nonsense, stripped of context, but in context, it's profound. Tesla is saying that reality at its most fundamental level is vibrational. Atoms are not solid. They're mostly empty space with particles vibrating at specific frequencies. Change the frequency, change the properties. Matter and energy are interchangeable. E equals mc squared. Proven by Einstein, but understood intuitively by Tesla decades earlier. The universe is a symphony of oscillations, electromagnetic waves, acoustic waves, matter waves, gravity waves. Everything vibrates. Everything has a frequency. Understand the frequencies, and you understand reality. Tesla also says his brain is only a receiver, that in the universe there's a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. He knows this core exists, but hasn't penetrated its secrets. This sounds mystical, but Tesla isn't religious. He's describing intuition, the unconscious processing that happens when you stop thinking directly about a problem, the solution that appears while walking in a park, the invention that downloads complete while reciting poetry. Modern neuroscience calls this the default mode network, the brain regions that activate when you're not focused on external tasks. This is where creativity happens, where connections form between distant concepts. Tesla's brain does this at a level that seems superhuman because his visualization ability is superhuman. His internal simulation fidelity is superhuman. The intuitive leaps appear magical, but they're biological computation at extreme efficiency. Consider what Tesla accomplished with equipment from the 1880s and 90s. No transistors, no integrated circuits, no oscilloscopes beyond primitive versions, no computers, no digital signal processing, no internet to reference prior work. Everything done by hand, by eye, by intuition, by mental simulation. He's calculating load, impedances in his head, designing transformer ratios without computer-aided design, predicting resonance frequencies using paper and pencil, building equipment from wood and copper wire and hand-wound coils, and it works the first time. Every time. Now fast forward to modern electrical engineering. Computer simulations model every component. Finite element analysis predicts field distributions. Software optimizes every dimension. Prototypes are tested and refined iteratively. Failures are expected. Designs are revised dozens of times. Teams of engineers collaborate. Access to a century of published research. And still, projects take years. Still, unexpected problems emerge. Still, the gap between theory and working hardware surprises people. Tesla closed that gap in his head, alone. In the 1880s, the rotating magnetic field patent from 1888 is 37 pages of detailed descriptions, 12 diagrams, multiple configurations, two-phase, three-phase, variable pole counts. Tesla files it without building a prototype. The patent examiner requires proof. Tesla builds a demonstration model in weeks, brings it to the American Institute of Electrical Engineers, May 16, 1888. The motor runs. Smooth, quiet, self-starting. No brushes wearing out. No commutator sparking. No maintenance needed. The audience of engineers recognizes immediately that everything changes. This one machine obsoletes the entire DC motor industry. William Stanley, an engineer who worked on transformers for Westinghouse, says Tesla's lecture is a masterwork. George Westinghouse, who attends, begins negotiations the next day. By July 1888, the deal is signed. $60,000 cash, stock, royalties, 1-year consulting position for Tesla at $12,000 plus expenses. Westinghouse assigns his engineer C.F. Scott to work with Tesla. But Scott ends up doing most of the development work. Tesla isn't interested in commercialization. He wants to move on to the next idea, to wireless power, to resonance, to frequencies and vibration. This pattern repeats throughout Tesla's life. Brilliant invention, working prototype, loss of interest in development, moves to the next thing, leaves others to commercialize, doesn't patent everything, gives away ideas freely, publishes his discoveries in lectures. Other inventors patent variations. Tesla loses control of his inventions, loses potential income, doesn't care. The work is the reward, the discovery is the point, money is incidental. By 1920, Tesla is largely forgotten. The electrical grid he envisioned is built, AC power everywhere. But Edison's name is on the company, General Electric. Westinghouse gets credit for the AC system, Marconi gets credit for radio. Tesla's name fades. He gives occasional interviews, makes grand predictions, claims new discoveries, but he's seen as eccentric, a relic. By 1930, he's living in hotels, moving when he can't pay, feeding pigeons, working on theories nobody funds, the death ray concept, wireless power transmission ideas nobody believes, claims about communicating with Mars that make people uncomfortable. Tesla's final years are marked by increasing isolation. He develops what might be dementia, or possibly just the natural eccentricities amplified by age and loneliness. He avoids mirrors, claims to have abandoned his visual memory technique because the images became too painful, stops leaving his hotel room except to feed pigeons, survives on milk and crackers, owes money to hotels across Manhattan. The Hotel New Yorker gives him a room out of respect for his past achievements, waives the rent, provides food. He dies there, alone, unmourned by the public, unknown to most Americans under 50. The modern resurrection of Tesla's reputation begins in the 1970s and 80s. Biographies appear. John J. O'Neill publishes Prodigal Genius in 1944, a year after Tesla's death. Margaret Cheney publishes Tesla, Man Out of Time in 1981. Mark Cypher publishes Wizard, The Life and Times of Nikola Tesla in 1996. These books introduce new generations to Tesla's actual accomplishments, separate fact from myth, show the gap between what he envisioned and what was built. The internet accelerates Tesla's fame. His quotes circulate. His image becomes iconic. The wild-haired genius standing next to massive coils shooting lightning. The lone inventor fighting against corporate powers. The man who could have given us free energy but was stopped by greedy bankers. Some of this is true. Most is simplified. The reality is complex. Tesla made genuine breakthroughs. He also made claims he couldn't prove. He succeeded brilliantly. He also failed catastrophically. He was both genius and tragic figure. In 2003, Elon Musk names his electric car company Tesla Motors. Later, shortened to Tesla Inc. Musk chooses the name because Tesla's AC induction motor powers the vehicles. The rotating magnetic field from 1882 still works, still efficient, still the best solution for converting electrical energy to mechanical rotation. Every Tesla car on the road is proof that Tesla's invention from 143 years ago remains optimal. The company's market value exceeds $1 trillion at peak, named after a man who died penniless. In 2021, the state of New York purchases the remaining Wardenclyffe property with plans to expand the Tesla Science Center. Additional funding comes from donations. The site will eventually include museum exhibits, interactive displays, educational programs, a research library. The restoration continues, slowly, dependent on funding, but the vision is to make Wardenclyffe a functioning laboratory again, to teach Tesla's principles, to inspire new generations of engineers, to keep the dream alive. Meanwhile, wireless power transmission research continues. MIT researchers demonstrate power transfer over distance using resonant inductive coupling. Companies develop wireless charging systems for electric vehicles. Projects explore beaming solar power from space to ground stations, all based on principles Tesla documented in his Colorado Springs notes in 1899. The technology has advanced, materials have improved, but the fundamental physics is what Tesla discovered. The resonance, the frequency matching, the standing waves, the Earth as a conductor. Tesla's understanding of electricity wasn't just technical knowledge, it was a complete worldview, a framework for understanding reality. He didn't see machines and circuits, he saw energy flows, resonant systems, harmonic relationships, the planet as an instrument, the atmosphere as a wire, lightning as nature's generator, every electrical phenomenon connected to every other, the AC motor, the Tesla coil, wireless power, radio, X-rays, all expressions of the same underlying truth, that energy moves in waves, that frequency is fundamental, that resonance amplifies, that the universe vibrates. This is why Tesla's work remains relevant. Not because every invention panned out, many didn't, not because every prediction came true, many were wrong, but because his framework was correct. His intuition about frequency and vibration and resonance guided him to real discoveries, to working devices, to systems that power civilization. The AC grid exists because Tesla saw electricity as waves that could be transformed and transmitted. Wireless communication exists because Tesla saw the Earth and atmosphere as a propagation medium. Modern power electronics exists because Tesla understood resonance and impedance matching and harmonic relationships. We're still catching up to ideas Tesla documented in the 1890s. Wireless power, Earth resonance, ionospheric physics, particle beam weapons, remote control, automation, global wireless communication. He laid the groundwork for all of it, with equipment from the 19th century, with a brain that processed reality differently than anyone else's, with a gift for visualization so profound it bordered on supernatural, with an obsession so complete it consumed his life, no family, no wealth, no recognition in his final years, just the work, just the pursuit of truth, just the attempt to give humanity the tools to transcend limitation. The Wardenclyffe Tower Base sits on Long Island. Concrete footings, empty shaft descending into darkness. In 1917, they tore down the structure but left the foundation. Too expensive to remove. The tunnels remain sealed, inaccessible, somewhere below the surface. The grounding system Tesla installed still exists. Copper plates driven deep, iron rods extending outward, designed to inject current into the Earth at specific frequencies, designed to make the planet sing. The equipment is gone. The vision is documented. The math is verified. Standing waves form when you inject the right frequency into the right medium. Tesla proved it, measured it, photographed it, wrote it down. The tower is gone, but the principle remains. And in that shaft on Long Island, 120 feet deep, lined with blackened timber, accessible by a spiral staircase that no longer exists, Tesla's last great experiment waits, frozen, unfinished, the ghost of a future that almost was,